Everyone enjoys getting out on the town for some live music. And there's nothing like going backstage and down the hall for a VIP pass to the inside information and interviews with the bands, singers, and songwriters that you enjoy. Welcome to Hall Around Town Radio's Backstage Hall Pass, a showcase of homegrown talent, mixing independent music with personal interviews and a behind-the-scenes look at our music community. Backstage Hall Pass is your front row center seat to some great conversation with the area's most talented artists. Whether you like rock, blues, folk, country, or R&B, Backstage Hall Pass delivers you a daily dose of the stories behind the music. And now, here's the host of our show, Scott Hall.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the program today. It is Top 5 Tuesday here on Hall Around Town Radio. Glad to have you with us today. If you're joining us here, let's see who's going to join us live. Nobody's getting a notification yet because I'm not. So there we go. Now we're getting a notification. Now we're in the business. What's going on, people? Let's see who's out there. Glenn is here. I'm up to 100 subscribers on YouTube. What in the hell happened there? Wow. How about that? 100 on YouTube, 6,000 plus on the Book of Face. Interesting. Interesting it is. Marie Smith in the house. Thanks for joining us at 5 o'clock on a Tuesday. Hollywood, how are you, my friend? Good to have you with us. Rob Paisley in the house. Today is Top 5 Tuesday, guys. We are talking about, today we'll be bringing you the top Elvis songs. We will. Top Elvis songs. Had some people write in today and give us a list, which was cool. I appreciate that very much. If you missed yesterday's show, yesterday we ran long talking about the stadium tour, so I didn't get a chance to cover our weekend update in its entirety. Hello, Kara. Thank you for being here. TJ in the house. What's going on, buddy? Well, TJ, you say it's a great subject. Chris Reese, however, is giving me nothing but grief over it. He's being a hater today about Elvis. Yeah, he gets in those moods, man. And I thought he was one of those love and harmony kind of guys, but who knows? Hello, Carrie. Thanks for being here. Thanks for dropping by. So, yeah, let's go back to yesterday just for a minute. Thank you, Jamie Combs, for joining me yesterday and doing a stellar review on the stadium tour featuring Joan Jett, Poison, Motley Crue, and Def Leppard. I want to thank Jamie for doing that today. And again, the notifications are not going out. I just saw we went live, though. We are live on the Book of Face and on the Tube of You. So that is good. That's a good thing. Maybe some people will catch up here. Maybe not. It's a pretty day. And then I did put out the topic today. Whenever I do that, it's just like people ghost you. They don't care about Elvis. So they said, I'm not watching that. Okay. That's all right. That's all right. It's all right, Mama. What's up, Scotty Long? Thanks for being here today. Carrie, those were some great pictures you took from the jam. Thank you for that. So let me go back to yesterday real quick and just talk about what I missed. And I didn't get a chance to talk about our friends from Drive that we got to see. And we took them in at Heather's on Saturday. Now, let me run down. Wow. Timothy's watching from both the Book of Face and YouTube. Tell me which one's better quality, Timothy. I think I know already. But yeah, Douglas in the house. He's all shook up today. There he is. Hi, Celia. Thanks for dropping by. TJ says not everyone loves Elvis. No, they don't. There's a lot of Elvis hate out there. But if you saw the movie, you know, they even came up with a way to promote him through buttons that said, I hate Elvis. So, you know, whether you like old Colonel Tom Parker or not, he was the early version of Gene Simmons. I think he merged everything. Hello, Amy Zahora. Thank you for being here. From the Dayton Restaurant Association. Good to have you with us. She's doing a lot of great events this summer, guys, especially at Austin Landing. We enjoy those and those, the phrase. And anytime Amy puts her Midas touch on an event, it is a good one. For real. Oh, what do we got? Well, hello. Yeah, good to have you with us today, guys. All 16 of you here. Yesterday we had a great crowd. 600 or 700 views on the show yesterday for a Monday. That's pretty good. Appreciate it. Timothy Long. It's Scotty Long. YouTube seems better quality. Yes, it is. The audio's better and the video's much better on YouTube. I do know that for a fact. So yes. Gonna see it this weekend. Well, I will throw out then spoiler alert on the Elvis movie. Spoiler alert for everyone. So if you don't want to know what happens in the movie, don't watch right now. Elvis dies at the end. Isn't that a spoiler? Yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah, Elvis passes away at the end. For real. Yep. And yeah, speaking of Amy, watch our page, guys. We've got some things that are going to come up this week on our page regarding some of her events and some things that are going on there, like the Yingling Beer Fest happening and those kind of things. They'll be coming your way. So watch for those and get out and support Amy, the Dayton Restaurant Association, and the folks that put on these fantabulous events with live music and food and all those fun things. And Kara said she saw Drive at Froggy's awesome band. There you go. Good point on Drive. Jim McCarthy in the house. Yeah, funny but not funny. It is, but that's my spoiler for it. That's really, I mean, it's a history lesson. The Elvis movie, it is. But I got to back up. I want to talk about Drive because Drive is made up of Dale Buckner doing lead vocals, Bob Mack on the drums the other night when I saw them. Don Rumford playing keyboard. I used to see Don play in You, Me, and Him. And Doug Hall, that used to be with Shadow Life and several other bands throughout the years. Doug Hall has joined them on guitar and doing a killer job. And then the man with the drive, as he's known, Rick Keaton, on guitar and playing the guitar with only one arm. And he told me a story about that. And man, he's been through a lot. Had cancer in his arm, had to have it removed and at the elbow basically. And he's playing with this prosthesis that was designed especially for him to play guitar. And he can play a great guitar, man. He kills it. Let's see if we can bring it back. There's one camera. Let's go to the next camera that we like. And let's see what we can do here. Let's try it again. There we are. We're back. And we're back. Let's make sure the audio is on the right setting. It is not. So let's take it to the right setting. And it just all of a sudden decides to do that. And I don't know why. There. Hopefully you can hear us now and you're back with us. So let's I want to talk about Drive for just a second. These are some of the songs I got to hear from them. I mean, they did some Bryan Adams tunes. They did The Power of Love, Huey Lewis tune, I Want You to Want Me, Cheap Trick in there, Gone by Lit, and Bad Case of Loving You, Some Kind of Wonderful. Signs, they went back years to do that one. Pour Some Sugar on Me, threw some Def Leppard in there. Billy Joel, some Bob Seger with Sunspot Baby. Just a wide variety of stuff, like All the Small Things by Blink 182, Honky Tonk Woman, All Right Now by Free, and threw some Foo Fighters in there as well. A Superior Job by Drive at Heather's. Had the crowd going, had the crowd up and dancing. And really had a great time with them. And I hung out there most of the evening and took off right at the very end. I ran up to Mr. Burroughs to catch the tail end of Last Call. Got to see about 3 songs of those guys before 11 o'clock hit and they were done. And Last Call duo, they're great. It was Last Call trio that night because the drums were involved. But Chris Reynolds, David Linda, I mean, just superior players and vocalists. And that was a great time as well. So again, I want to thank the guys from Drive for the hospitality. I was there just kind of going solo that night. Mrs. Hall around town stayed home, and I ran down to check them out and had a good time, and then popped up to Burroughs on the way home and caught Last Call. So really good time there. Now let's get to the matter at hand today. And hopefully you're all still out there. It doesn't look like we lost too many people as we were doing the live thing here when everything decided to just quit, like it does sometimes. Yeah, Celia, you need to check Drive Out sometimes. And you guys are at Heather's this Saturday. There you go. I am going to be attending a wedding on Saturday. And will not be able to make that one, unfortunately. But the wedding's going to be fun. And rumor has it that the Dat Band is going to be playing the wedding. So that'll be a great time as well. All right, let's get to the Elvis thing. Anybody, how many people have seen the Elvis movie? Raise your hand if you've seen the Elvis movie. We want to know. Hi, Ray Renee. Thank you for being here. She says I'm back. Also, I missed you Thursday. I had to take off early. I had an early engagement on Friday morning, so I didn't get to stay the entire Ultimate Jam. I heard you killed it down there on a Thursday night. And yeah, everything you hear about him is great. And make sure you check out Drive there, Celia. And Hollywood is not. Well, I will tell you, it really focuses on the Colonel. I mean, it does, and Tom Hanks plays that part well. It's a strange thing to see Tom Hanks look like he does in the movie, but very interesting stuff. And one thing I will say, Elvis movie really kind of exists to warn people not to be like Elvis, I think. Because it shows him going from this humble young man with roots in R&B music to all the way to the end, when he's a spun out of control drug addict and, very eccentric, very, just for lack of a better term, crazy. And it's an interesting take on it. And I really, it captures you. Probably, in my opinion, could have been about 20, 30 minutes shorter. It was a long movie. But for those that have a good attention span, that might work well. For those that don't, interesting. Yeah, the Memphis Mafia was featured in there. There was, and people basically just invaded his home and moved in with him. And he was too nice a guy in the beginning to say no to anybody. And I think some of that hurt him, obviously, in the long run. But when you go from being a kid who's got nothing to driving a Cadillac in your hometown to then stepping into having your own jet airplane and all those things, it's a pretty wild ride. So I won't get too deep into the Elvis movie other than to say that the whole thing that's attached to this is the quality of acting. And I'm not going to spoil it for those of you that haven't seen it, but you will walk out of there and say, wow, the acting was wonderful. And I thought Tom Hanks was great in it. Obviously did a great job, but tell me what you think after you see it someday. Send me a message or post it on the page or something. And give me a little taste of what you think about the acting in it, because I thought it was excellent. And, they take you through the Memphis blues scene, B.B. King's featured in it and those kind of things. So really kind of a cool vibe in the Elvis movie. And if you're a fan of music at all, whether you like Elvis or you don't, or you did, or whatever, it's interesting. And they, some of it took the moral high ground. Some of it didn't. Some of it took the wickedness of the entertainment in industry, so to speak. And Celia said the acting was superb. I thought so too. And I thought, if I were to sum it up, I'd say it was kind of jaw-dropping casting, because everybody fit every role perfect. And yeah, Glenn says he had over 500 songs. Yeah, Elvis was no slouch, man. He was a worker, and they worked him to death, literally. The whole gig in Vegas and things, and the Colonel, you'll see, and all this has come out in real life court cases that he was swindling Elvis out of a lot of things. And that's simply the way it works. I mean, it's gone on for years and years and years since Elvis. Look at the boy bands and Lou Pearlman and some of those people who took them for their money and signed contracts that were ridiculously in the management's favor or the record label's favor and all that. But it does dig deep into social and, injustices and things like that. It shows a lot of history in it. Certainly the death of Dr. Martin Luther King and the shooting of him and those kind of things, and Bobby Kennedy. There's a whole lot in there, and it shows how in touch Elvis was with the community of R&B music. Now, there's a lot of people who don't like Elvis for that. Chris Reese had to tag me in a post today about Ray Charles dogging on Elvis and that kind of stuff because they were calling him the king. Somebody gave him that title, and it's no different than a World Federation wrestler. They give you a title, you run with it. And that's all I got to say about that. But it was interesting. So let's get to the top 5 today. We want to talk about Top 5 Tuesday. What's your favorite Elvis tune? Somebody throw it at me. If you have a favorite Elvis tune, he was early influenced on the Beale Street, Memphis scene, the blues scene, R&B scene, B.B. King, heavily involved in his work as well. So I've got Jim McCarthy saying In the Ghetto. I've got Little Sister getting a vote from Ray. Thank you for that. So throw them in there. If you've got a list, and you put a list on our page earlier today, copy it and paste it to the comments here so people can see it. In the Ghetto is a great one, I think. Superior. And that's good. Are You Lonesome Tonight? Yeah, what a love song that is. Mm-hmm. All right. Keep them coming, people. We'll get to my list in just a minute. I'm just trying to look at a couple things here as I go, if I can. Let's see. Amy Zahora says Suspicious Minds and All Shook Up on her list. So, yeah, if you have a top 5, put the top 5 in order on there for me and let me know what your top 5 would be. Love to hear it. A couple things that came out in that movie that, you'd kind of forgotten about or didn't realize. And, they did a lot of milestones. And then obviously August 16th, 1977, I believe, Elvis's death. I remember vividly, those days where you remember where you were on something that happened in the world. I remember sitting in bumper to bumper traffic with my dad in a car going to a Reds game, and the radio came on and broke in and said Elvis had died. And even the stadium, when we went to the game, it was like somber. I remember it well. And Polk Salad Annie getting a vote in there. There we go. Thank you, Ray. Becky's got to say something here. What's she got to say? Blue Hawaii. Devil in Disguise, Burning Love, Bossa Nova, Viva Las Vegas. That's one everybody loves. Suspicious Minds. There you go, Jim McCarthy. Thank you. In the Ghetto. Suspicious Minds, In the Ghetto, Blue Suede Shoes, Jailhouse Rock, and Viva Las Vegas is Kara's vote. Thank you for that. Hollywood, if you're still out there, throw your list in, man. Because I can't pull that up on the screen right now that from that post today. And Jim McCarthy said at 14 had his first beer with his oldest brother in 1977. What beer was it, Jim? Do you remember what brand? I can remember them selling all the beer at the stadium. Wiedemann, Stroh's, those kind of things. Wiedemann was the big one because it was in Cincinnati. Hey, Jamie Minnick, we're talking about Elvis songs today. What's your favorite Elvis song? Throw it out there. Jim said it was Coors. Oh, somebody went west then, because back in 77, you didn't get if you lived in this area, you didn't get any Coors beer unless you contrabanded it in. That's right. All right, let me get something else on the screen here if I can. There we go. All right, let's go down. Elvis had over 500 songs, as Glenn reminded everybody. I'm going to go deep in the list for just a few minutes and things that haven't been mentioned so far today. Let's get down in the let's get down in the 50s. Jamie says red, white, and blue, no comment. Okay. Are you not an Elvis fan, Jamie? Are you or aren't you? Glenn, I don't know. If you put a list up here, maybe it's back a ways. Let me look. Where's it at? Your last comment had over 500 songs. So yes, I'm not seeing your list. Must be too big for the tube of you on the comments or something. I don't know. Jamie is not an Elvis fan. Okay. Well, see, you are or you aren't. There's not a lot of in-betweeners. I mean, it's like me. I'm not a huge Doors fan, yet I'm going to have a Doors tribute band on tomorrow. Retrovention tomorrow here at 1:00. So, yeah, if you're familiar with the keyboard player from Strangelove, he's in that band. It's his band. So we're going to chat with them tomorrow. But, I'm an equal opportunity lover or hater. I'd be glad to hear from you. If you don't like Elvis, drop it in the comments. Gosh, there were songs like, Elvis had songs like Guitar Man, Moody Blue, Shake, Rattle, and Roll. He did a cover of certainly, A Little Less Conversation, which is one that a lot of people like. It was played, actually, there was a show about Las Vegas that was a sitcom, or I don't know that it was a sitcom, but a reality show or something. I don't know, but they played that as the intro to that show. Viva Las Vegas captures his persona really well. Yeah. And, like him or not, Elvis knew how to work a room, man. Elvis was, he was the original Cinnamon on the main stage in the strip club. I mean, that man made women go crazy. And, and it just built into this absolute craziness. And I know people who followed him his entire career, went to so many shows, and then went to his funeral in Memphis because they were heartbroken and wanted to be there and all that. I mean, there were fanatics, literally fanatics. Yes. And Jim says, when Elvis went in the military, I'm sure. I mean, and that's played out in the movie very well, I think. And if it's all factual, now it's Hollywood, remember, but if it's all factual, what they're saying, there were some things in there I did not know about that. And I knew they were after him for his gyrations and wanted to basically run him out of town and all that kind of stuff. And there was a faction against, back in those days, certainly against R&B or black oriented music. It was definitely prevalent in that era. And the Elvis 68 comeback special is a very cool show. Yeah. And if you haven't seen the movie, they play all this out and there's some good stuff in it and really a lot of fun. But I got to get to the list and get out of here, guys. I have to host some trivia tonight down at Mr. Burroughs Tavern and get there. And Glenn says he dressed well. Just like you, Glenn. He dressed flashy. But I did, you did notice as he progressed, everything became a brand on him. I mean, the belt buckle that said Elvis, the glasses that said Elvis, EP in the middle of them, those kind of things. And don't be dogging on it because he was ahead of his time. Ask Gene Simmons. I mean, Gene Simmons got everything branded from caskets to condoms. He's got, so, it's a way to make money. And Jim said a friend of yours, okay, in third grade, and you were jealous. Absolutely. All right, let me get to some other songs on the list here as we're rolling through. Hard-Headed Woman's down there in the 50s, but I mean, that's how deep a list he had of great stuff. And, all of his movies, cheesy though they may be, came out with a song that ended up being a hit. And, Ray Renee said you'd be amazed what Elvis in person. I would not. I've had to hire them for shows, and I understand what they make. And yes, they make a lot of money doing that. And the only thing I mentioned when we left the movie the other day, I said, "What will happen to Elvis when all those people pass away that are his fans?" Because certainly I could go today and ask a kid born in 2000 to give me 5 Elvis songs, and most of them couldn't. Most of them would not know that. And it's, I guess it's like everything else. Frank Sinatra, Tony Bennett. It does not really always stand the test of time, even though people try to resurrect it or make it be there. I mean, Lady Gaga has done a lot for Tony Bennett in the younger group, but it's just one of those things. And I was thinking the same thing when I left the stadium tour the other night. There wasn't any real debauchery going on out of the 100,000 people or whatever that were there. It wasn't 100,000. It was less than that, the Great American Ballpark. But there wasn't a whole lot of debauchery going on like you used to see at a Motley Crue show because everybody's old as shit. Did I say that out loud? I did. That, by now, I mean, the 80s, man, that was 40 some years ago. People getting old. All right. Throw me your favorite Elvis song in there. Don's saying Clam Bake. Yeah, there were some cheesy movies, man. There were some really cheesy movies. And all Elvis wanted to be was a movie star. He wanted to actually do a role that wasn't cheesy and do a movie that he didn't sing in, but that really didn't happen a whole lot. Remember King Creole? That was from a movie, obviously. Love Me Tender was one of his huge hits. I've only got that at number 25 on my list. And it says the Elvis Foundation's trying to shut down impersonators in Vegas. Really, Jim? I did not know that. That's interesting. There's a ton of them. They have conventions for that stuff now. They do. All right, I got to roll out of here, so let's get going. Let's roll it on down. Love Me Tender in at 25. I've got Blue Suede Shoes down at 23 on the list. Becky's throwing in Jailhouse Rock, King Creole, and GI Blues. There you go. Movie songs, they are. All right. Let me see. Viva Las Vegas takes the number 20 spot deep in my list. And, some of his biggest hits I do not have at the top of the list. Hound Dog is at number 18. A great song called Kentucky Rain is down there at about number 17 on the list. If you've never seen him do the American Trilogy, look it up on YouTube and watch it. I mean, it is powerful. That's in there at number 16. Treat Me Nice comes in about 14 on the list. Are You Lonesome Tonight at 13. Listen to all these hits, though. It's Now or Never in there. In the Ghetto in there at number 11. So we are getting there on the list. Going to get into the top 10 here in just a moment. So let's see what we can do if we can. Maybe. There we go. All right, moving on down. Anybody else have a favorite Elvis song? Now's your chance to throw it in there because we're doing the top Elvis songs today in memory of the Elvis movie that I get to see over the weekend. Number 10, Heartbreak Hotel for me. Return to Sender hits number 9. Don't Be Cruel at number 8 today. Hi, Mark Robinson. Thanks for joining us. Sweet Sister Mercy in the house. Number 7, Jailhouse Rock takes that one for me. And then there's some other stuff here. If I Can Dream at number 6 for me. And let's get into the top 5 today. Here comes the top 5 on my list. And I bet Wes does, Becky. That's a good song. It is. He does a great job with it, the way he puts it together. Or he did a great job, I should say. All right. Number 5, Burnin' Love for me on the list today of the top 5 Elvis songs. Number 4, All Shook Up at number 4. Mark Robinson throwing a vote in for Are You Lonesome Tonight? Are you lonesome tonight, Mark? I didn't think so. All right. Number 3, let's face it. I'll take this one every day of the week by Elvis. Always on My Mind. That one, great tune for Elvis. Yes. Number 2 on the list. I have a tie at number 2, actually. Well, I really don't. I'm just gonna call it here and say, Can't Help Falling in Love with You. Yes, that's the number 2. And How about the number one, people? You ready for the number one? Should I do like a drum roll? Sucky drum roll that I have. Yes. The number one song on my list of greatest Elvis songs of all time is going to be Suspicious Minds. Elvis Presley, guys. Elvis Presley. 22 studio albums, 6 live albums, 30 EPs, and a whopping 111 top charting singles. There's plenty of Elvis to choose from, people. If you don't like him, listen to some of his music. You might like some of it. And yes. There you go. Now listen to that. I'd like to see that, Ray. Thank you for that comment. I appreciate it. Yeah. And yeah, that's how so many artists today get thrown in there, you know? And I mean, even Motley Crue the other night was promoting the movie The Dirt. And you could tell there were people that had never seen it kind of buzzing about it after they did their video screen stuff and all that and that kind of thing. And Becky says, lovely Lou and Stitch. Thank you for that. Glenn says, hail to the king. Boy, people get mad when you call him the king. I get the king of what and all that. You know, come on. That was just a brand, man. Elvis was branded. He was kind of like a cow with the brand. That was his brand. And Julie says, love Suspicious Mind. That's a great song. It really is. But I do like In the Ghetto. I do. It's one, too, that I probably should have put a little higher. And I'm reading Jim's comment here. Interesting. Thank you, Jim. Protected trademarks. There we go. So there you are. More than a brand, I guess. Now a trademark. It's the way it is. But Elvis, man, he's making more money in death than he made alive. And has anybody seen anything about Lisa Marie lately? I've not. So who knows? That's all I got for today, guys. Thank you so much. Tomorrow, Wednesday with the band. We'll be here tomorrow at 1 o'clock. But if you can't watch at 1, watch it anytime on our YouTube channel or our Facebook page. We'd appreciate that. And Don says they closed down the Elvis wedding chapels. Wow. Well, I mean, they did prove a whole lot about the Colonel being a shyster. And I mean, definitely he was fake from the start. And that was interesting how that man made so much money, but yet in his after Elvis life wandered the streets of Vegas, being basically a gambler, squandering every bit of money he had. So interesting. That's all we got today, guys. Thanks so much for being here. Hope you had a great day with us. We had a great day with you. We'll see you next time here at All Around Town Radio tomorrow, Wednesday with the band. Join us then. Bye-bye, everybody.